check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We welcome you back to the Field Sports Arena in Pasig City to continue our coverage for the 2024 Spikers Turf Invitational Conference. And there you see one of the undefeated teams, FEU DN Steel. The Ultras will take on one of the younger squads that we have in the tournament, that are the VNS Griffins. It is literally volleyball never stops for us as we continue with our triple header inside the Field Sports Arena. This follows the 3-set victory of DLSU versus Chi-Chi. And then later on for our main event, the Signal HD Spikers will go up against the Crisscross King Crunchers in one of the more awaited rivalries that we have in the Spikers Turf. But now we focus on Far Eastern University, and volleyball never stops. Thank you for joining us, folks. This is Mix Gomez at your service alongside Andre Mulyakanda, and Bailey's Akot will be our courtside reporter. And we all know how potent FEU is. This is a squad that has already seen success in the UAAP, but we can never count out an up-and-coming team like VNS.
Definitely, when we say up-and-coming, of course, these are the teams that we know are hungry, not just to gain experience, but also potentially get those wins.
By the way, this VNS team does have some experience. Some were champions with Mapua in their high school days with Coach Ralph Ocampo, and then some have been selected in the under-18 program of Alas Pilipinas. Now we will break down our team standings and what is going on.
Well, you did mention how formidable this FEU team is. They've taken down some solid teams. The 3 wins that we're seeing here, they won it against the Navy D Navigators and Chi-Chi, and today, of course, hopefully they'll rack up more wins. But on the other hand, this younger VNS squad, sabi nga natin, no, they're here to gain more experience. But they did have, no, they do have in their lineup some really notable players. But I think they really need to prove themselves more, a better game, more gelling, more rhythm, and that is what we are anticipating in today's match.
They already have 1 win. That was against Martelli, and this would definitely be a statement for VNS if they can win versus FEU. Now, the Tamaraws did make a statement in their previous outing with a big-time victory against PGJC Navy, which, as we know, is one of the teams who are usually in the top 4.
Definitely, and you know, just hearing about the Navy team, we know how experienced this squad is. But I think for FEU, it's just really outsmarting them, outplaying this more senior, more veteran squad. And siguro kasama na rin dito na the youth, the endurance, it is always there. The hunger to win. As we look at their stats for that match, it was stretched in the second set. Makikita natin, no, set number 1 and set number 3. This is where FEU really showed know, what kind of team they are and why their record remains spotless at this point.
I love that you mentioned the youth of FEU. Yes, they are a potent team, but they only have an average age of 20 years old. That is pretty young.
Maliit na bagay.
Yes. But FEU does have a senior that they have relied upon in Benny Martinez, one of the 2 graduating players for Far Eastern University, alongside Ariel Cacao.
And you know, we always see how the attackers shine. But ito, yung mga setters, no, they really do drive the plays of the team. They are literally the playmakers. And you know, you make your teammates look very good. He did exactly just that, giving out 19 excellent sets in their last game against the Navy. And hopefully again today, yan yung hihintayin natin, what kind of show, what kind of plays he will deliver today.
And to answer everybody's question, Ariel Cacao will not be available in today's outing, as once again he's tending to his family, but Benny Martinez is here to step up. Now we talk about the previous game of their opponents in VNS. They have 1 victory in their season, but in their previous outing they lost to Savage.
Today will be a test of how they will try to bounce back. You know, coming from that loss, you have to forget all about it, start anew, start off strong. They will be up against an undefeated team so far here in the Spikers turf. So here, it will really be a test of character for this younger VNS Griffin squad.
VNS lost 25-16, 25-23, and 25-16 versus Savage. And the aesthetics or the spin doctors really outshine in terms of their spiking 43 to 29. They're blocking, their aces, everybody or every stat was into their favor.
That's right. There are some disadvantages. We'll see that in terms of lineup, they may be a shorter team. But today, I guess, yan yung hihintayin natin. What kind of answers? How do they go up against this team like FEU?
RK Medino, though, was an answer for VNS in their previous outing, scoring in double figures.
He is one of the youngest players that they have in the VNS roster. Only 18 years old. So mas bata pa dun sa average ng FEU. But he has won the best opposite spiker in the PNBF U18 tournament. A lot of promise for this young athlete. And today we await another good performance from him.
And that allowed him to be recruited into the Under-18 Alas Pilipinas program alongside a couple of standouts from VNS. Can he step up? Again, this could be a statement game for VNS against FEU. Now we transition to our courtside reporter, Baileys Akot, who has a question for everybody.
Thank you, Migs and Ann. It's always lovely to hear from our fans, especially via the Pilipinas Live app. And so, help us answer our poll question of the day. It is, which team will come up with more digs? Again, which team will pile up more digs? Is it the DN Steel Ultras or the Griffins? Let us know your thoughts. Use the hashtag SpikerSurf 2024. Now turning it over to our venue announcer for our starting lineups. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, present are 2 referees in charge for match number 18. Our first referee is Mr. Fernando Velarde, national referee. And our second referee is Joy De Imos, AVC international referee. Presenting the starters for the DN Steel Far Eastern University. Beginning with their team captain and outside hitter number 8, Jelor Talisaya. Outside hitter number 5, Nico Espartero. Opposite spiker number 9, Drix Saavedra. Middle blocker number 11, Lyric Mendoza. Middle blocker number 15, Dula Tongala. Center number 17, Benny Martinez. And our starting libero is number 1, Feli Ceballos. The head coach of DN Steel FEU is Mr. Edison Orcolio. Introducing the starting lineup for the VNS Griffins. Starting with their team captain and outside hitter number 8, Charles Segui. Outside hitter number 1, Kim Lirai. Center number 3, John Mamulapnan. Opposite spiker number 5, Roderick Medino. Middle blocker number 13, Julius Arcilio. Middle blocker number 19, Christian Olnaes. And their starting libero is number 2, Joshua Cruz. The head coach of the Griffins is Ralph Ocampo.
Presenting the starters for FEU, the Ultras will have Jeller Talisayan back into their starting unit. We did see a start for Jomel Codilla in the previous outing. He joins the likes of Espartero, Saavedra, Mendoza, Dongala, and company. On the other end, 2 returnees for the VNS Griffins. We have Jan Mangulabnan, who had to sit out in their previous game because of exams that he took at Mapua. And then we also have middle blocker Julius Arcilio returning to play after going down because of a flu. Actually, that has been a concern in the past couple of outings for VNS. They haven't been complete because of that said flu. And yes, they still live together, so nagkakahawaan yung mga yan. As the first point belongs to the returning Jeller Talisayan. Talisayan has been a leader, one of the captains of FEU for the past year. Jelord sending it in, Mangulabnan with a back send and a beautiful hammer from CJ Segi.
This is a good way for VNS to start off the match. They need something as something like that attack. You make konting statement, you give a bit of confidence on your side,
And
knowing that you're up against FEU, still undefeated.
Why not get a statement from the finals MVP of Mapua in the high school rank himself, as now there is an infraction caused by VNS. Let's see the previous sequence.
Quite clear. Now this is the danger. You get 1 point but offset it with an error, or a violation rather.
Can they get some retribution? Not yet. Mendoza being the setter, and it is a long shot. An error by Miko Espartero. And we have an early challenge, and just like that.
Block touch, challenge.
There was a lot of power from Espartero on that previous sequence. Miko has been scoring in great ways. This conference had 13 as the second leading scorer of FEU versus Chichi. Then he was the second leading scorer versus D Navigators with 17. He was also the second leading scorer versus Navy with 12. So constant, double figures, pero laging number 2 itong si Miko Espartero.
I know that consistency is very important. You don't want your game going up and down no? throughout the conference.
Especially for a guy who's just starting out with the FEU Tamaraws. He was one of the highest recruited players from Aklan. And there you see their decorated coaching staff with Coach Ed Orculio leading the way. They were number 1 in the UAAP in the preliminaries last year before eventually bowing out in the Final 4. Such a good program, and because you can see the continuity from high school to college.
Yes. Meanwhile, as we await the results, we see the teams.
Si Miko nahihiya na. Kanina pa yung airtime niya.
Nakafocus sa akin.
It was his attack after all, and was there a touch?
No touch.
That was close.
Very close.
And even FU cannot believe it as of this moment. All right, just like that. One challenge remaining in the set for Far Eastern University. It is 2-all, VNS with a serve. Benny going to Drix Saavedra, and that was wide on his hit.
That was a good read as well on the side of VNS, letting that go.
Saavedra was the leading scorer in the past 2 games for Far Eastern University, totaling 34 versus Navi and Navy. Oh, that is service out for VNS's Christian Olaes.
So far, they've done well in ensuring that, they match FEU at least at the start of this first set. But we're seeing some previews of these errors that they would need to avoid.
We've seen more errors than attack points in this game. Well, that is something that we would gladly take from Kimi Lirai.
Look at that. Well-placed drop.
Lirai also brings his experience from Mapua, as now it is another error.
I know, and again, it is at the service line for VNS.
Whether these players are getting used to the Field Sports Arena, especially the VNS players, which is, of course, the younger team that we have. Espartero, strong serve, ball up for VNS, back set by Jan, and not a point. This FEU putting the ball up, open hit, Talisayan with a cross.
Excellent angle right there.
Point for TN Steel, FEU.
Right on that spot where there is no defense for VNS.
5-4.
There's also an error committed by VNS at the net. Either way, a point for FEU, but now it's offsetted by another service error.
It's raining service errors at the start of this first set for both teams.
Yeah, not the type of rain that we would have. 5-all. At the net. Benny pushes, and a point for Benny Martinez.
Lirai almost there.
Benny does have length as a setter, right?
Yes, indeed.
And we all know how important that is. Owara Tamar was a perfect example in the UAAP. Mangulabnan, who came from the UAAP, he transferred from Ateneo to Mapua. It's Espartero from the back, a pancake save, and Segi will send it through. Martinez to the middle. Ooh, a monstrous hit from Dongala.
That landed in the middle. He found that space in between the blockers.
Dongala was one of those recruits by Coach Ray Diaz. Shout out to Coach Ray, by the way. Pinapabati ka rin ang current coaching staff ng FEU. As now, that attack was low for VNS's RK Medino. And we have our first technical timeout, 8-5.
It's TN Steel, FEU with a lead 8-5.
This is the 2024 Spikers Turf Invitational Conference. DN Steel Ultras versus the Griffins. For FEU, still undefeated, oozing with confidence, defeating stronger teams and the relatively experienced veteran teams. And so I asked their team captain, Jellord Talisayan, saan nanggagaling kanilang kumpiyansa and how did it get to this high of a level? At sabi niya, yung kanilang kumpiyansa ay mataas dahil sa kanilang mga roles na klaro. Commends the coaching staff for giving them specific and concrete roles and molding the team for what it is now. And of course, their winning culture, the rookies from the FEU Diliman High School program, buong puso gampanan ng mga roles na to. At sabi pa ni Jellord na summer pa lang nararamdaman na ng pre-season pa lang yung mentality to dominate. Iba na ang amuyan ng kanyang team. At lastly, naniniwala siya na hindi iniiwan sa dorm ang kumpiyansa. Dala-dala dapat to kahit saan mapunta at kahit sino kaharap. Back to you, Migs and Ann.
Isn't that one of the beauties of having a continuing program? You're together all season long, and this Spikers Turf actually makes the adventure all the more sweeter for FEU because they're not just waiting for the UAAP back in their dorm, back in their school, but they're here in action with a couple of our great teams in the country.
And it is part of their process, right? In getting themselves ready for whatever collegiate tournament that they have. Plus, I think, a big factor is yung pride, carrying the name of, the school.
Yes. Right now, they're up 9-6. A strong serve by Benny Martinez. It is CJ Segi with a beautiful read. Benny to save. Talisayan was blocked.
That's a point for VNS.
Great effort we're seeing here at the net for VNS, trying to put a stop to FEU. Look at that block.
FEU got blocked more in their previous game as compared to their blocks versus Navy. And now we're back to another service error.
Ito yung mga sayang, no? Because I think for VNS at this point, you take things one step at a time and you just want to ensure na hindi lalayo yung lamang ng FEU, lalo na dito sa first set. You don't want to give them that extra confidence.
On the other hand, we're seeing errors from FEU as well. And that would make me look back to their previous games. What was the most inefficient game from each of our teams? In the case of FEU, it was a tie in their 4-set match versus Chi-Chi and their 3-set match versus Navy. They averaged 9 errors per set. On the other hand, for VNS, their most inefficient game was their previous game versus Savage. They averaged 6.3 errors per set in 3 total sets.
Now it would be interesting to see how they would fare. No? It should be better. That is the goal, no? To make it better than their previous matches.
We'll give you the recap later on as we end the first set, but now we just saw a point from Drix Saavedra. Drix continues his improvement as the opposite spiker of Far Eastern University. Another consistent scorer at that. Now it's Tongala serving. Ball up by Segi. And it's RK who's blocked.
Good for TN Steel FEU.
Was well read, predicted by the blockers already. Seemed like an easy block there for FEU.
That was Miko Espartero with a rejection, giving us a 5-point advantage for DN Steel. Oh, a miscue for the yellow shirts. That gave a point to Kimi Liray.
No, not one of the tallest. In fact, he is the shortest on the floor right now for VNS, but has contributed some points already here in set number 1.
Liray would want a duplicate of what he did versus Martelli. He scored 14 points then. Segi pushes to the right. And no save for Talisay. That is a point for RK Medino. Setting it straight to the back, Medino who top scored against Savage with 11. Service for Olaez. Oh, what happened there? The libero of FEU. We shall continue. Mangolabnan pushing to Liray. And that went over and out.
Seemed like he was targeting the corner, but poor execution right there.
Against 3 blockers as well for Viray. It wasn't easy. 14-10, Drix Saavedra. What a serve by Drix. Mangolabnan to the middle. And that is a block point for Lyric Mendoza, who used to be one of the players of Coach Ralph Ocampo.
Such a small world here in volleyball that you would face former coaches, former teammates.
Oh, that's an easy one for Lyric. The ball did not go down. A chance ball for FEU. Apat na.
Oo.
Coach Ralph on his feet alongside Coach JP de Guzman. They're down by 6, second technical timeout.
Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen.
But now I've gone and thrown it all away. Mama. Ooh. Jamel Codilla, ladies and gentlemen. It's one of the beauties of covering the Spikers turf. We also get to hear the beautiful voices of our players.
Oh, may napahawak siya sa throat niya. But you know, that's a nice thing, you know. You get to know them outside of the court. Ang dami dyan, mahilig sumayaw,
Yeah.
mahilig kumanta.
And you know what? Sometimes it breaks the tension after the huddle.
Oh yes, kanina you saw them smile.
Yeah. Because as we know, sometimes in volleyball, it gets too serious. And now we have the second challenge. This would be the last for FEU if they get it wrong. Ball in, ball out off of a serve.
Earlier, they challenged block touch, which was unsuccessful.
That was very early in the match before we even reached the third point.
Yeah.
Coach Ed not wasting any time to make a statement to our officials.
Yeah, and this despite having a 6-point lead.
Well, Baileys did mention the Amuyan of FEU. They would want to dominate in their matches, and apparently they're right. And they were absolutely right at that.
It's right within the line, actually. So it was a good call.
Is successful.
Successful for Coach Ed. That's why we're seeing a big smile on his
Yes,
face.
of course. Happy with that.
Number 17.
We have Ken Dainata checking in for the first time. Not sure if you were able to cover him as well. He played for JRU when we were able to have the PNVF late last year. Ball up for VNS. It is RK. Ooh, almost
good.
scored.
Oh, it is not,
Yeah, we couldn't see it from this angle.
but that one is called out beyond the antenna.
Double subs.
Substitution for
Let's break them down. Howard Guerra and Justin Yatko check in. Yatko has been one of the staples in this VNS program of Coach Ralph, and he's only at 17 years old. On the other end, we have Rodson Duot, the former finals MVP of UAP High School Volleyball. And number 23 checking in, that is Vir Angelo Molina.
for number 23, Vir Molina.
11 serving 17, the setter, Justin Yatko doing the honors. Oh, that was a nice serve.
Oh, unable to keep it alive. They didn't anticipate that short serve right there.
Such a beautiful trajectory for Justin Yatko. And it wasn't that slow, right? The serve.
It wasn't. It was a floater. But this is also what you want. If you're a coach, you pull someone from the bench and you want them to deliver.
That's not the case for Dainata in the previous sequence. He was under the ball, thus an error. And it's back to a 6-point advantage for FEU. We're back with Miko Espartero. Jump serve, ooh, way out.
Service out.
We're more and more curious about the number of errors that we've already had in the first set. Dainata, now with the honors, 13-18. Taking his time. Ball through, safely in, almost an ace. Chance ball, VNS. Yatko with a lot of time, back set onto his lefty. Counter with Mendoza, still no point. Howard Guerra got a hand. Duot to the right, a bit tight. Did not work. And here's the counter, CJ Segi. That's a violation on FEU.
So either way, they would get that point. We're talking about VNS. And kanina nakita natin, no, yung lamang malaki na, but they are working on it 1 point at a time. May 4 points pang hahabulin itong VNS, but let's see how they would continue getting those points in.
Can they build with some momentum? Talisayan has an answer.
Sabi niya, hindi na pwede. Pwede lumikit.
Kota na, kota na.
Oo.
Taylor Talisayan with beautiful approach. This man played beach volleyball. Athleticism is not a problem for him. Mendoza setting it in. Ooh, misreceived by Dainata. And a chance ball now for FEU. Dongala as the setter. Talisayan! That was wide.
FEU getting their fair share of errors here in set number 1.
Is that actually the main reason why VNS is only down by 4?
No, I think we've been seeing some violations at the net. We're seeing some errors as well, even at the service line. So I think, you know, for VNS, would take it anyway. And luck is also on their side in that last serve.
It is an ace by their middle blocker. That is Arcilio. And he missed out in their previous game. 2 games at that. Julius sending it in. Talisayan back at it. That was low.
Indeed. And you see from the approach, no, parang hindi siya maka-forward. Ball was a bit... He was a bit under the ball, rather.
Don't look down. This is only a 3-point game. VNS feeling good inside the Field Sports Arena.
And we've come to realize this is what they need to do. They just need to make sure that they give FEU that challenge. We've seen a variety of attacks from them. But again, these errors at the service line really not helping them. Di sila makausad eh. They can't at least get a tie again with FEU, similar to how they started the set.
2017. CJ with a receive. Segi. Nice approach. And a beautiful hit by CJ Segi. Double sub will return now for VNS. Marque Medino and John Mangulabnan. There's the high flyer, Coach Ralph Ocampo. Mangulabnan to serve. Double sub back in as well for DN Steel FEU, Benny Martinez and Rick Saavedra. Espartero ready to receive. Mangulabnan. Martinez goes back to Gelord, met at the net. Ceballos going to the opposite side. It's Saavedra with a beautiful approach. The rally continues. Mangulabnan, Segi, ball up by FEU. Bit of a scramble. Longest rally so far. Segi pushes through. And a chase. Not enough for FEU.
Coming from that simple over. Not hitting the ball, but you know, he probably saw that opportunity. Look at that. He adjusted, but Saavedra tried to get that ball. There was someone covering behind him, actually.
It's now a 2-point game. Martinez back set. Saavedra could not respond.
Ooh, these errors on the side of FEU. Points VNS would happily take.
Check that now. It's a deadlock. 20 all. Everything has happened so fast for VNS. Can they actually get their first lead? John Mangulabnan. Ball up by Nico. Not the best of receives. And here's Gelord Talisayan. Good effort by VNS. CJ Segi. Yes, now VNS has the advantage.
Look at that energy. And that's why they're called volleyball never stops.
Yeah.
Can't stop. And look at Segi go for that attack.
What a comeback by VNS despite all of their errors. Can they actually push through? 21-20. Martinez back to Drick Saavedra.
Sabi ni Saavedra, teka, napako na tayo dito. Time to score a point. And he did have some errors earlier. So it's good na nakabawi, no, this attack.
But this is a guy who's familiar with the moment. The big time moments, when the score is already at the 20s. Segi again, another moment guy, this time from VNS, but there would be a challenge as it was initially ruled out.
But Segi seemed sure. He was saying that, the ball is in.
And there you see Coach Ralph Ocampo, you also saw Coach JP De Guzman. Ang magandaan, dati kasi dalawa lang sila.
Oo.
Ngayon 5 na sila.
So, more eyes, more
More voices as well.
voices.
And yes, that's gonna be in.
Yeah. Drops right at the line. And you see how sure they are. And dito sa game na to, of course, we're not discrediting VNS. It's just that if you look at the team standings, you'd see that FEU has been undefeated so far. So kumbaga yung underdog dito VNS, But they're starting off well. They lost a bit of composure in the middle.
Wow,
But,
tough dig.
Look at how they go for the defense as well.
Oh, an overcook from Nico Espartero.
And ito yung hindi, I think this is what FEU needs to avoid. Di pwede manggigil. And you see the frustration also on their end. Bakit tayo nalamangan?
Timeout, Coach Edgar Julio.
Anong kailangan natin? Simple lang yung gagawin ng kabila, oh. May spectacular play ba? Wala naman eh. Diba? Baka yung black, kaya lumilipad ng gano'n yung palo nila, nakaganon ka lang, hindi dapat gano'n. Penetrate inside. Diba? Puro error natin yan, ang dami niya, no? Ilan ang error? Kailangan yung opponent's error sa kabila. Yun ang error natin. Go, 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 go!
The emergency button from Coach Edison Orculio. Let's see the previous sequence. This was their latest error.
Of course, for the coaching staff, hoping for a good response coming from that timeout. They do need a good pass. We've seen that not all the passes so far in this set have been as accurate.
That's a better one. Leading on to a hit from Drix Saavedra.
So that is a good response from FEU. That huddle they needed probably to just, wake up.
Now, can they be consistent at it? The first thing that will be tested, the serve of this man, Dula Dongala. Dongala sending it in. Oh, it's a nice play by VNS. Read by FEU. Espartero keeping it alive. And this is a chance ball. Manguladnan to Dainata. Got a touch.
He is loving that point. And why not? It brings them to set point.
That was a funny moment. John Mangulabnan celebrated by yelling. And then sumakit yung tenga niya. So he had to hold on to his
Na-excite lang
ear.
sobra.
Ayun, tingnan mo. After niyan, hindi nakita. Set point, make it 2 for VNS. From the middle, Mendoza blocked. And here's Segi from the back. Ceballos keeping it alive. Martinez to the open. Espartero. Ooh, no more recovery for VNS.
Yeah, that's why we say never take your eyes off the ball. It's 1 point to close para sa VNS. But for FEU, they need a flawless play. No errors.
Saavedra to serve. Plays it clean. Mangulabnan. Dainata! Oh, what a save by Drix. And it's Nico Espartero with the error. Set number 1 belongs to VNS.
What a way to start this match. Look at the smile on their faces.
That's why we never count out the VNS. As young as they come in the Spikers turf, 25 to 23. Back inside the Field Sports Arena in Pasig City, it was a comeback victory for VNS in set number 1, 25-23.
We saw the patience no, that the VNS had in that first set. We did see how at the beginning, dikit na dikit, pero lumayo yung FEU. But VNS really tried their best. Patience nga, sabi na patience is a virtue. They did just that. Everything they did from their reception, sa kanilang opensa, the distribution, it did them very well in that set number 1. You'll see the stats right here. Dikit na dikit actually, no? And in all the different skill departments from attacks, blocking, serve, hindi nalalayo. At kanina pinag-uusapan natin the errors. Just one error more no for FEU. 11 yung naipamigay nilang puntos. VNS likewise also has double digits with 10 giveaway points. But I guess this goes to show how important it is to ensure na hindi ka masyadong namimigay ng puntos, because in cases like these na match kayo in the different skill departments, this became a disadvantage for FEU in set number 1. Services pa lang, Migs, ano, tinignan natin, FEU had 3 service errors, VNS had 5 in that last set.
That begs me to ask the question, nakabuelo na ba ang players natin as we are about to start set number 2? Could we see cleaner games from the two teams? VNS will gladly take that set win. After all, this is the most complete team that we have seen so far from them this conference. They did not have RK Medino in their opening game, no Arcilio in their second game, no Mangulabnan in Arcilio in their third game. In this case, ang wala lang ay si Kuya Jailo Labide. Shout out to you, Jailo, wherever you may be. Ano yan, kadalasan naka-duty yan.
Pero
Kaya
I'm
di
sure
nakakalayo.
happy siya sa nakita niya that, you know, they gave it a good fight in set number 1. They took that first set win. And I think it matters, no? It's not just about winning that set, but somehow at least, kung ang kaharap mo ay undefeated team, gives you that confidence na, ay, kaya naman pala to. But now the question is, for FEU, how do they reverse
Yes.
and turn things around?
Well, they can start with that. A block point for Dula Dongala. That's a guy with a lot of length. I am looking
yeah.
forward to his battles with Obed Mukaba.
He scored 2 points in set number 1. Now he starts off with the point for FEU.
You know, he's tied as the second leading scorer with Talisayan just behind Saavedra. And now it's an ace for the Tamaraws. I got word from Coach Ed Orculio that Benny Martinez really worked a lot on his physique in the off-season. That includes his development with his serving. Kita mo naman, mas mabigat mula kay Benny this year. Or at the latter part of this year.
Oh, look at that.
Another strong serve. At the open, RK is blocked. That's a point for Drick Saavedra. What a response by the Tamaraws.
Showing their strength at the net. At this well-timed.
And they're supposed to be known for their blocking. One of the best in the previous UAAP season alongside NU in that category. Mangulabnan back sets. Segi going cross. Ball up by Benny. It is Drick Saavedra who's rejected.
It's their turn, sabi ng VNS.
Let's see who got his hands on that ball. So that was, let me check, Christian Olaes. Martinez, Talisayan, couldn't get the ball to drop. Segi from the back, ball up by Ceballos. And Saavedra will give up a free ball. Out of time for Mangulabnan. Jan to the open. Tainata is rejected.
Oh, it's a block party right now for FEU. Ayaw na nilang pahirapan yung depensa sa likod. Sabi nila, sige, kami nang bahala dito sa net. Just look at that again. And you'd see, you know, these blocks, it's roof talagang the trajectory of the ball going down the floor.
And you can see it on the faces of these Tamaraws, just how determined they are to dominate the set. They just couldn't get it perfect as of yet from the service line. That's another error from Jelor Talisayan. Here we have Christian Olaes, another product of Mapua High School. Oh, that was short.
The service error.
How many did we have in set one?
So there were 3 for FEU and 5 for VNS. Hopefully they limit those errors here in set number 2.
Or else it will be a long serving drill in their next practice. Mangulabnan to the right, and that's off of FEU. No more chase for Talisayan. That's a tall spiker for you, RK Medino.
Look at that.
Just gotta be happy for Coach Ralph Ocampo as well, able to develop these young talents. Imagine this young, tas ang mga kalaro mo,
Oo, ganito.
top caliber na.
Yes. Such great way to get that experience.
And as Menido commits an error, now we can start talking about Ralph Ocampo and his impact to the national team. Because he's actually developing players at such a young age. And it's not just for VNS, it's also for Alas Pilipinas.
And yun yung maganda, no? We always talk about experience, but you know, for these younger players, we'd say younger players, and nga bata pa yung mga nandito sa VNS, yan yung maraming bata or younger players, that's what they aspire to do. It's to don the Philippine flag, diba?
Yeah.
Yung uniform, represent the country.
There's a challenge on the call by VNS.
Yeah, but challenge mid-play, a net touch by FEU. Let's see, the VNS coaches got it right. After all, that's one of the purposes of having many assistant coaches. You have more eyes. And there also hasn't been any shortage of challenges in this game. A nice prelude to our main event, Signal versus Crisscross. For those of you who missed it earlier today, the LSU was able to sweep Chichi. And it was such a nice performance by the Lasalians. It was Josh Magalangan named as the best player of the game, and he was scouted accordingly. Couple of that, there were after that, there were a couple of national team conversations already for him.
Meanwhile, parang nininervyo sila maghintay. Kanina tumatawa eh. But when the camera is, pag yung camera nandyan, matatawa sila.
I think they're just getting used to it.
Yeah, camera ready.
FEU kasi sanay na yan
Oo, sanay na sanay. As we look at that replay. Ooh. Seemed clean.
There is no
Yeah.
fault. So the challenge by VNS is unsuccessful. The Griffins
Okay, we shall proceed
for this set.
because it was a challenge at the middle. And that's a point already for Far Eastern University, DN Steel Roofing. CJ Segi.
I think some clarification on what they are challenging rather.
Was it a different sequence?
But I guess they
Okay na,
have
pinabayaan
settled
na
it.
nila.
Okay na. They need to score 4 points to tie it with FEU.
But remember, it was a comeback win in set number 1 for VNS.
Apart from winning that set, I guess the coaching staff would be happy to see, the kind of yung mental strength, of course, of these players. They are younger, you're down, pero nahabol mo, you have that composure.
What a swing by Mendoza.
Oh.
And he got up for one more.
Sabi niya, I can't get it the first time. Isa pa ulit.
Oh, we ought to see the replay on that one. Was this the first swing? Oh, makita mo dyan yan. Wow, look at that. And then he got up quickly.
Isa pa. But the first time, alanganin. So that second attempt, just put it over.
This is our first technical timeout for set number 2.
Back inside the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig City, FEU versus VNS. And for the Griffins, they take set number 1. And for those that don't know, they are the youngest team in the league. Their youngest player at 14 years old and their oldest at 24 years old. And I spoke to one of the key players of the team, Roderick Medino, only a grade 11 student taking up General Academic Strand Senior High School in Mapulang Lupa National High School in Valenzuela City. Dreams to be a civil engineer. He is only 15 years old and started playing volleyball at 11. His tito introduced to him the game and was exposed playing in barangay leagues. And he's living the dream playing with the pros and of course yung local idol niya si Brian Bagunas daw. He has been watching him ever since he was young and now rubbing elbows with the likes of him and many of the best in the country. And just like him, he dreams to be a national team player and also to win championships in Spikers Turf. Your thoughts, Migs and Ann?
First of all, beautiful report. Bailey's Akot, second, 15 years old, and he's this tall, he's this good. Brian Bagunas, better keep track of this man.
I know, diba? I mean, looking at these players, we can definitely see the future of volleyball is bright.
He has 6 more years to continue growing, by the way.
Yeah. The exposure that you're getting, you're playing against, seasoned players.
Oh, that's growth in volleyball. I was talking about height. Yeah.
It's also true.
Diba? Layo pa niyan. Now it is Dainata serving for VNS. It is 5-8 in set number 2. Ken setting it in. Cordelia rising up. How about Mendoza also rising at the middle? The athleticism on full display for FEU.
Gustong bumawi from that first set that was snatched from them. Look at that.
That's Jamel Cordelia, who had 3 points in the previous game as he got the start. Jamel able to serve it in. Mangulabnan, hold in the middle.
Unexpected second ball returned to FEU.
That's the first 1-2 play, right, in this game?
Deserves a second look. So he looked like he was gonna set the ball. Hindi handa ang depensa.
Service ace for VNS. And once again, and they're closing in.
They seem to like this kind of situation. Being put in a situation na lamang yung kalaban. Sige, habol tayo. They are embracing the challenge.
That's a great testament of character already for these young guns. Oh, that's great. The net combination. Talisayan with a drop.
Sabi naman ni Talisayan, ganito lang yan.
Yes.
Ganito lang yan.
Again, beach volleyball.
It is nice to see the variety of returns from hindi naman lahat talaga kailangan palo. In that case, because of his hang time also, he saw that space. He saw that, hindi madedepensahan to. Let's just drop the ball.
Oh, nice block. Return to sender, literally, by Dula Dongala. And he had this unique celebration.
Oh, yeah. Baka makita dito in the replay. But he did enjoy that point. Ayan.
What's that? Roofing ba yun? DN Steel Roofing no?
Para pasok na pasok sa
sa branding.
Sa branding.
Oh, there's another roofing statement from Jenner Talisayan, able to return the ball. Regalo yun para sa kanya.
But, like what you said, ito yung expectation. The expectation really is that their blocking will be on point. They are one of the teams here that really have blocking as their strength.
It's Segi able to get it through the 3 blockers.
Segi has been playing very well and is one of the top scorers right now for VNS.
Segi, as mature as he plays, is still in senior high. Again, a lot of potential as well for him. Ball straight to the net. Dongala keeping it alive. And a beautiful approach by Jeller Talisayan.
You saw where that ball landed right before the attack line.
Break it down for us, Anne.
Look at this. And the timing of the blockers also, no, for VNS, the missed time. So credit that to the middle attacker. But the angle that he went for, just amazing.
Back to a 5-point lead. Another strong serve by Benny. And it is a block by FEU. Mangulabnan onto the left. Another block and another celebration by Dongala. We have to know what that means.
Oo nga eh.
Bailey's, come on, do us a solid. Find out what that means.
But the consistency right now of their defense at the net, clearly a very big advantage here for FEU. And for VNS, I guess the task is to find a way to get their ball through.
Service error though from
yun lang
Benny
eh.
Martinez.
Has been the challenge.
I thought you were gonna say Achilles heel for
Parang
the
yung
game.
mga errors ng at the service line, ano, but yun yung sayang eh, you know, for the players, because nobody's forcing you to commit that error. You're just right there, mag-isa, going for that serve.
Dongala from the middle, almost scored. Chance ball FEU. Benny, Dongala's feeling it, by the way. You can see it in his body language. From the back, it's Segi outside. And we're gonna have a challenge. Coach Ralph very much convinced that it was in. So apparently these three other assistant coaches of Ralph Ocampo were his buddies back in Lasal. Nagka-reunion.
No, pero good that you know, they do understand each other kung ganun, nagkakaintindihan sila, because they've known each other for a while. As we await if indeed it is in.
A big smile.
Oo, diba? So, sure na sure sila. They probably had a good view. Though, makikita mo yung trajectory ng bola, mukhang pahaba talaga eh. But that was a good call on their end.
So now the lead is down to 4, 10 to 14. CJ Segi, the captain of VNS. Ball up by Jellord. Back set to Drix. Ooh, a block, and Dainata loves it.
VNS hoping that, you know, this is the turnaround that they're looking for here in set number 2.
It was by the 20-point mark that they got their first lead.
Napako yung FEU, no, at the 20-point mark.
That was in set number 1. Dainata got a hand at the net. Ooh! Bit of a scramble for VNS. Ken Dainata. No touch this time.
The ball had no spin at all as well. And Dainata knew it.
Point for TN Steel FEU.
Lead back up to 4. Really takes a lot of effort for you to go up against the taller FEU players. Especially with Dula Dongala at the middle.
Who's been enjoying the block party so far.
First ball by Cruz. Oh, down the line for RK Medino.
Points and attack in the right.
That reach from Medino.
Just great calculation for the guy who aspires apparently to become a civil engineer. Eh, kung ganun nga naman, kailangan magaling kang mag-calculate. Dongala at the middle. Mangulabnan. Back row hit. That was good from CJ Segi.
Look at the fight that VNS is showing. And you see from their body language, they are not intimidated with how FEU is playing. Kumbaga ngayon, hinahanap nila anong sagot ang meron tayo. And, you know, they're just making sure na players on the floor get a contribute.
It's a response from Dongala. No celebration. They ought to be serious again, and there's only a 3-point lead heading on to the second technical timeout.
Okay, alam ko na. Love Story, Taylor Swift. You'll be the prince, I'll be the princess. It's a love story. Baby, just say
Swabe lang mula kay
Oo.
Jan Mangulabnan.
Dito baka may ma-discover pang mga singers.
Yes. It was a funny reaction from Jan. I don't know,
Sana
napakamot
hindi siya
ang ulo.
ma-distract.
Oo nga eh. Focus tayo dyan, ha?
Focus, oo.
Comeback
Baka
ulit.
na-distract dun sa
Sana hindi rin na-distract itong FEU Tamaraos. Donggala has been having a splendid set too, setting it in. It's CJ from the back, returned by Lyric. Ooh, a missed dig by Codilia, and a chance ball for VNS. Mangulabnan to the right, RK couldn't score. One more, different attacker. Arcilia couldn't score. Ooh, Benny almost stepped on the line. And here's Dainata sending it through. One of our longer rallies.
A lot of drop.
RK dropping it, Donggala keeping it alive. Battle at the net. VNS has possession. And a push by Dainata. That was a bit too long.
Series of drops we've seen from VNS and the FEU.
But how about the defensive activity, Anne?
And you see them at the net on the floor. And that's how it should be. Sinasabi nila, don't let the ball touch the floor. Pero hinihingal. Walang palo, pero hinihingal silang lahat. It was a long rally.
Lalo na si Jan Mangulabnan, kakakanta lang para sa atin kanina. Ang maganda, nagka-service error si Donggala. So may pahinga ng konti. VNS has now a double sub. Guerra and Yatkor back in.
But on the side of FEU, hindi na masyado tumatawa. I don't think they like this position of being down.
They've wanted domination all along. Yatko sending it in. Combination. Oh, that was beautiful from Codilia.
Great play right there for FEU.
Let's see who got the first ball. It was the libero after all in Benny Ceballos. That would make Bryce de Guzman proud, who's watching behind us. Strong serve by Drake Saavedra. Arcilia is blocked coverage by Guerra. Cruz giving up a chance. Mendoza with a smile. Almost scored. Dainata pushing through. Castillo putting it up. Oh, a hammer from Lyric Mendoza.
A lot of these quick plays working to the advantage of FEU.
That was a statement of a hit from Lyric Mendoza. No Teng Bugawan, no problem for the middle blocker of Far Eastern University.
Binibigyan natin sila ng chance ball. Dapat pahirapan nyo naman yung ino-over yung bola. Hindi pwede yung ino-over nyo makaka-atake yung apat na spiker. Diba? Zone 1, yellow ball. Sinabi na yan. It's either short, zone 1 or 2. Pag i-over nyo yung bola. Huwag ibigay sa gitna kasi makaka-atake yung quick. Malakas pumali yung quick nila eh. Balik! Maniwala kayo, kaya pa rin.
Coach Ralph Ocampo saying, maniwala kayo. 5 lang yan.
Well, nagawa na nila kanina. So now, they have to play catch-up. Meanwhile, yung FEU naranasan din na sila yung nalamangan at ayaw na nilang maulit. So the momentum on their side. Now we'll see how VNS will respond after that timeout.
This is Luis Miguel making an appearance. Interesting substitution for Coach Edor Culio. He looks young, by the way. Yatko back six. Dainata going cross.
Miguel has played off the bench in their last game against the Navy.
Came off the bench in all 3 sets.
Yep.
He is born 2004, November 21. Malapit na.
Oo nga.
Malapit na mag 20 years old. Martinez combination. Codilia. Oh, he absolutely crossed. And that's a violation.
Clear as day.
Martinez with an apology. Sabi nga ni Coach Ralph, maniwala kayo, 3 na lang yan.
Oo.
Kentai Nata to serve for the Griffins.
Kenday Nata with the honors. Well, that guy came off the bench in this game, and he's been at it since coming off the bench. Codilla, bawi. Nope, that was too wide.
Oscar hit too high for Codilla.
Now Espartero will return.
TN Steel, number 2 out. Number 5, Nico Espartero in.
Miko committed a couple of crucial errors in set number 1. I'm sure he'd want some retribution.
17, serving 19.
You saw that serious face of Coach Ed Orculio. It's only a 2-point game in set 2. Ball up by Miguel. Martinez! Oh, that's 1-2. His second in this game.
Seems like he is happy with that point. Maintaining this lead against VNS. Sabi nila, ayaw na natin mapunta sa posisyon na
Yeah.
tayo yung hahabol. We don't want that.
For TN Steel FEU.
Miko Espartero. Service in, Segi with a receive. Back set, and Guerra, did he get a touch?
Too high for Kevin.
They're seeing there isn't any, so no challenge there.
By the way, that guy, Howard Guerra, is the 14-year-old of VNS.
Just imagine, no? It's so many more years to build that experience. Ang bata pa.
Yeah.
Really young. Also, what a privilege to play, diba? Alongside, yung mga kuyas. Pwede niyang tawaging kuyas. Yung mga nandito.
Where were you when you were 14?
Well, I was already playing then. But look at him, diba? Playing in the right age group.
Yeah. Parang first year, second year, high school pa lang yun
playing in the UAAP for the age group, not like this, diba?
Oo.
So it's a great experience for him.
Martinez almost scored. Yato with the chase. Guerra will send it through. No nerves on that young man. From the back, Espartero, that was low. And VNS is within 2 points.
Point for the Griffins.
And for FEU, this is a similar position that they were in set number 1. Kanina napako at 20. They currently are at 21. But VNS, they seem to be, the team na they don't get rattled.
Yeah.
They maintain their composure. Look at this. They seem to like these situations.
With their backs against the wall. The right amount of luck as well as Arcelia gets the service ace and they're down by 1. Is this what they can do when they're complete? And what more? Jailo Labide is here. Oh, that's great. The net again. And here's Miguel. Oh, beautiful hit.
Down the line for Luis Miguel.
It's amazing, no? When you see these men go for their approach, the elevation.
Substitution for TN Steel FEU.
It's elevation and hang time for Luis Miguel.
Pwede ba magkape?
Yeah, nga eh.
Tagal bago mag-land.
Charles Absin now makes his first appearance. Another guy that we covered in the first PNVF tournament. Yatko to the open. Segi got a touch and that was in as well.
That's good for Charles Segi.
22-21 double sub back in. The starters in RK Medino and John Mamulabnan.
Number 3, John Mamulabnan.
For VNS, of course, they're thinking they have a chance here in set number 2. Score is close. They seem to be very confident as well.
And they give us a deadlock. Martinez, D-ball. That does not work for FEU. And now it is Arcane Medino with a statement.
He is answering your question if they can have a deadlock. Sometimes it doesn't have to be a fancy play. I think what VNS is delivering at the moment, efficient. They need to be efficient. Kailangan nila porsyento and they're getting the points in.
It's a virtual race to 3. Absin sending it through. A missed dig, but it's still Medino hitting, and that's off the block. VNS with the advantage.
This is, nasabi natin, kapit. That is what we're seeing from VNS.
That's just beautiful for the 15-year-old, Arte Medino. Welcome back. Jan Mangulabnan. Ball up by FEU. Charles Absin puts it down.
What an attack from Absin. And we've seen that, no? That is something that really works for FEU. Yung mga quick plays in the middle, very high percentage in terms of getting points for them.
Well, that was such an option for them in the UAAP, especially with Bugawan still as their top middle blocker scorer. Segi could not score. Benny to the right. Saavedra met at the net. Drix again. Nice dig by Jan. Cruz. Now on to CJ. Segi with another point.
Segi responding to the call if they need a point. Such an efficient attacker in this game.
Set point,
In
VNS.
between the blockers, lumusot.
He's been that good, CJ Segi. Now the captain will serve for the set. Playing it safely. Martinez back sets to Saavedra, was blocked, and it's another set win for VNS.
What a game we're seeing here from VNS.
2 comebacks already for the youngest team that VNS has ever put in the Spikers turf. My goodness. 2 sets to none. Volleyball never stops. So apparently this is what VNS can do when they're complete.
And you know, they have been consistent because the pattern that we've seen in set number 1 and set number 2, they seem to like the comeback.
Yeah.
Gusto nila yung medyo may challenge, maghahabol ng content. You know, not to take away anything from FEU. We've seen how they started off second set strong with their net defense, floor defense. But, you know, VNS showing such great character here in this game so far.
Normally this is a challenge for a young team. This is all very ironic. And yet you see the numbers, VNS, even it was a cleaner set for us in set number 2.
Yes, for both teams, the opponent's errors down to single digit. Earlier we saw it was 10 and 11. But you'll see that across the different skill departments, it is the same story, Migs, ano? Dahil dikit na dikit. Ngayon, lumamang lang ng konti itong VNS with 13 attack points as opposed to only 11 of FEU. But the rest, you'll see, you know, 1 point difference no, in the skill department. So talagang dikitan ang laban. But my key takeaway, really, for, you know, the first 2 sets that we've seen, yung character nitong VNS, na never give up yung kanilang attitude.
By the way, Arena Plus, a 6 sports. Gotta put that out there. And this is Ben San Andres, who is back in the Spikers turf.
Enjoying the game.
He's wearing a Bulldog shirt. Parang hindi naman NU Bulldog,
Hindi.
pero Bulldog pa rin. San Andres plays for, ano yan, Navy or Navy lang yan. I think it's Iloilo the Navigators. There you go. Welcome back to our league. The Navigators, by the way, lost to FEU in 4 sets. In fact, if FEU would win this game, this would be their longest game so far in the tournament. On
VNS.
the other hand, only 3 sets in all games for VNS.
Oh, wow. But, you know, today, gotta say that for VNS, Segi really doing a lot of damage. He is the lone player in this match for both teams that has scored double digits. So Segi already with 13 points. Ang top scorer on the side of FEU, all sharing 6 points. Ano, Talisayan, Saavedra, and Dongala. But, you know, I think a lot of talent and promise we're seeing from this young roster here in VNS.
You had a very big reaction to one of the hits by CJ Segi in set number 2. Remember that? Yung napagitna niya yung bola?
Oo, in between, there was like that triangle in between the two blockers because they really went for it, pero lusot sa gitna.
Now, with that, I ask you, in terms of creativity, in terms of the attacking prowesses of these VNS hitters, would you actually say that they're ahead of their time?
I think because they are young, diba? So I think at this point, winning is a cherry on top, but the experience that they're gaining is so much more, parang yun yung parang investment. This is really good investment of their time. So in years to come, I can just imagine how much more improvement that we will see, no, from these young players. I mean, as young as 14, 15, diba?
Yeah.
Already getting this exposure.
FEU is up, by the way, 3-1 now after that hit by Dongala. But no lead has been safe for these Tamaraws. Martinez goes to Saavedra. That was low. And no touch by VNS.
Better start here for FEU.
So apparently there was a touch by VNS, and so it is a block, point off the block for Drix Saavedra. Now we have Dongala serving. Ooh, sharp one at that, but it went wide. Ang laki, no? You think he's taller than Mukaba?
274 is the score.
But he is tall.
He
Just can't
looks
see
taller
kung,
than-
kung taller.
To me, he looks taller, but then again, we'll have to see Obed again. That goes out off of VNS.
That's a point for TNCO FEU.
5-2. Aga pa to.
Oo, and we've
Serving 2.
seen before what FEU can do on the side of VNS. Hindi naman pwede maging overconfident din, no? You
Yeah.
can't relax, even if you're up 2 sets.
Dainata off the block. Just keep on going. Kumbaga, they're keeping at it with FEU enough to give themselves a chance by the end. And that's a usual key for an underdog, right?
Of course, going into this game, aside from yung team standings pa lang, sila yung underdog talaga dito eh. So, I'd say that all of these that we are seeing para dito sa VNS, hindi siya bonus and we don't discredit all the effort that they've been doing. But, the consistency. Segi, just right on point, I was gonna say, there are players in VNS that are really showing consistency in the way that they play throughout the sets.
Well, in terms of consistency for Segi, he had 8 points, 14 and 7 respectively in their last 3 outings. But his digs and receptions have been up there as well.
And that's a good sign kasi you see that all around player that he is.
Oh, elevation and detonation from Drix Saavedra.
Sabi ni Saavedra, eto subukan yung kunin. Hindi na nakaporma din yung depensa, no? It was too fast, too strong as well.
And even if he's coming from behind the line, it's not a problem for the opposite spiker. Mangulabnan, behind the line was RK. No point. Miguel keeping it alive. It's Absin. No, that was Mendoza who couldn't score. Cruz sending it to the left. Dainata is blocked.
That's a point for TNCO FEU.
Absolutely went back to Ken.
And at this point, of course, basang-basa na, no? It was like a wall right in front of him.
Oh, that was way out for Luis Miguel.
577.
He's named Luis Michael Miguel.
Parang puro name yung name niya.
Yeah.
So, oo nga.
At saka, Michael can also be translated to Miguel. Do you know that?
Ooh.
Oh, yun ang translation nun.
Baka yun yung ano na, ito na lang, para ano.
Para machi.
Machi.
Lyric Mendoza from the middle.
Lyric Mendoza.
He did mention that's a good option for them. They're middle hitters. First technical timeout belonging to FEU.
This is the 2024 Spikers Turf Invitational Conference. The VNS Griffins still have momentum, still has momentum. Let's talk about FEU. FEU's energy is a lot lighter and brighter considering the first two sets, but still they are not in rhythm. Their coaching staff challenging them very frank and straightforward during the huddle. And they also gave the keys to lead the team to Benny Martinez. More about Benny Martinez, he is a graduating student taking up hotel restaurant management. 10 years na siyang tama raw, a product of FU Diliman program. His career started in his hometown in Buena Vista Elementary School in Himamaylan City, Visayas. Grade 8 siya yung na-recruit siya ng FEU post their palarong pambansa stint in 2014 where they won the championship and representing Western Visayas, where he was also named the best setter. At simple lang yung motivation ni Benny in his last playing year, and that is his family. Grabe daw yung support ng kanyang family, watches every game via the Pilipinas Live app, and yun lang talaga yung kanyang fuel to his passion. And let's see how they respond in this current set. Back to you, Mix and Ann.
That was a nice response. Block point for Dongala, who was aided by Benny Martinez as well, as Benny shut down the down-the-line target. Shout out to the Martinez family watching from wherever they may be. So sabi ni Baileys, 10 years na itong si Benny Martinez sa FEU. That's almost half of his life here in Metro Manila.
So you can just imagine also the familiarity with their system.
And again, there is that bridge from high school to college, which has meant chemistry already for a couple of these Tamaraos. Now it has paid off. They're up by 6 in set number 3.
Kailangan natin na maraming break point. Diba? Kapag yung bola natin, D-ball, huwag yung bibilisan. D-ball eh. Pagaling yun ng onte para maka-discard. Kasi labang talaga sila sa block, ang laki ng block nila eh. Oh, break point lang tayo ha, konti lang yan.
Kaya, tsaga.
Kasi wala. Ano, alam mo.
Am I right to assume that the break point is also similar to a side out?
Yes, gusto nang bawian, no? Shift, get that point. That's all they need, breaking the momentum on the side of FEU. Well, they've done it in previous sets. But they'll have to do it sooner because I think there is also that danger, no? If they lose this third set and FEU gains footing in this game, magiging delikado pa for VNS, no?
Right.
If we extend.
It's momentum for Far Eastern University, if ever. And there's the D-ball for VNS. Sabi ni Coach, iangat niyo yan. Give time for RK to adjust.
And Dino with that attack. Gets that check.
I hope everybody knows what a D-ball is. It's back row right. And I even had a conversation with Coach George Pasqua that it's also named the red play. Yeah, it's used in international volleyball. Blue naman kapag back row left. Parang ganon.
Color coding the place. But you know, on that note, ito yung mga sayang, no? For VNS, they get a point. They lose it with an error.
Can they get it back? Mangulabnan says yes.
I love it that he is right on cue.
That's a guy who should not feel any nerves against the FU Tamaraws. Very familiar with them. At saka ano yan eh, volleyball family yan eh.
Oo.
Kuya mo ba naman?
It runs in their blood.
Of course, Vince Mangulabnan has been decorated in the Spikers turf. Segi pushes. Ceballos to the right. Saavedra block. In or out, it was in, which means a point for VNS.
That serves a second look. Net defense right there.
CJ Segi, not just with his digs, receptions, and scoring, but blocking as well. Talisayan with some hang time.
Great decision to drop that ball.
I have to say, he has one of the best hang times.
And you know, that's the beauty of it, diba? The last minute
Oo.
change of decision. Palo ba to? And everybody on the other side, no, the guys in blue, they were anticipating palo. Pero dahil nakapagkape pa siya doon, tagal niya bumaba, naisip niya, okay, drop ko na lang.
He should be a joy to cover for our photographers.
Yeah, no?
Diba?
The leaping ability. Kasha ako dun sa ilalim siguro, pwede ako maglakad sa ilalim.
But the same could be said about CJ Segi. There's the athleticism. And down the ball goes, challenging the defense of the libero in Ceballos. Oh, Miguel was blocked. VNS keeping at it, just down by 3 in set number 3. Again, they haven't had an extended match so far. After winning versus Martelli and losing to Crisscross and Savage all in 3 sets. Segi from the back, another point for the captain.
You know, it seemed like it was on its way out, but still dug up on the side of FEU. Para medyo mataas yung balik ng bola. Oh, there was a touch, so they really need to get it anyway.
Segi serves it in. Martinez to Saavedra. Good effort by Villacruzes. And here's Tainata. Yes!
Wow! Amazing performance we're seeing here from VNS. Ito yung gusto natin, yung mga coach, ayaw nila kapag nag-error ka. Okay, and back in the day, ang sasabihin nila, parang metro ng taxi.
Oh.
Gantong metro yung gusto natin makita. When you start scoring a point, tuloy-tuloy. And you know, VNS, very consistent.
You know, I'll start using that from now on.
Parang metro ng taxi yung error. Ganun yung sermon ng mga coach dati. Pero kung yung metro ng taxi naman puro points, okay yun.
What an analogy. Ayaw mo umangat yung value, pero umaangat pa rin eh. I hope the new generation of volleyball fans would get the reference. 14-12. Back set. RK is blocked. It's back to a 3-point advantage.
Excellent blocking there for FU. Parang simple lang. Look at this. Single block, or the double rather. Great angle from Miguel.
Service by Dongala. And here's Tainata. Nice approach. Buelo pa lang. Alam mo na.
Oh, and you know, it was wise for him to choose to hit off the block palabas. Look at this.
Off the right arm of Blick Saavedra. Tainata just staying consistent. Off the bench. Miguel approaches. Block, coverage present. Ceballos there to help out, and a chance ball for VNS. Oh, a back row hit that goes in for CJ Segi.
Not able to react yung depensa ng FEU.
Nararamdaman mo na ba? Pag-aagawan to
Oo,
sa college.
Look at that. And again, we're talking about consistency. It's one thing to have the skill, but to be able to do it consistently and, demonstrate this kind of attitude, diba? Yun yung hinahanap, yung palaban.
He's leading this very young team against FEU. But off of the steal by DN Steel Roofing, or the point by DN Steel Roofing, it is now 16-14.
No risk, no story. Talagang tumatak siya sa akin kasi doon mo maisip mo na, oo nga no, hindi mangyayari yung isang bagay kung hindi mo susubukan. Hindi mo gagawin yung best mo, hindi ka mag-try. Kasi mas okay nang na-fail ka or natalo ka, at least ginawa mo yung best mo.
Gotta love that from Drix Saavedra. And speaking of things that we love, our favorite NBA superstars are on NBA TV Philippines, now available on Signal Play. Download the Signal Play app on the App Store and Google Play and subscribe now to catch all the action this new NBA season. Martinez to the left. Miguel will push. VNS very much alive. Dainata puts it away.
What a fight we are seeing here from VNS.
You know, this could actually spark things up for them for the rest of the conference.
Maybe this is just what they need, ano? Yung talagang, but you see here, body language, even if down sila, the confidence is still there. They don't seem rattled. And you hear it from the huddle also.
Yes.
Palaging very encouraging. Kaya pa natin yan.
16-15, that's a net touch.
That falls on the Griffins. Point for GN Steel FE.
It happens with all the activity that these Griffins do. Coach Ralph staying relaxed at the sideline. 17-15, Miguel, a miss hit.
He knew it from the throw, no? Medyo hinabol na yung bola. Wasted point right there for FEU.
Now a chance for us to have a deadlock. VNS closing in. Again, it's by this time, near the 20s. Ken Dainata, 7 points off the bench. Service in, Miguel. First ball. Ooh, Mendoza. Again, detonating from the middle.
Exactly what they need at this point.
He really swings with a lot of authority. Mendoza from the service line, setting it in. It's Guerra, the youngster, setting it out, and they're arguing for a check.
There's a challenge on the call by VNS. The challenge is block touch.
That's the first in the set, right?
Yes, it is. But Guerra seemed sure that there was a touch.
Hindi ka pa maniniwala sa bata.
Oo nga, no? We'll see in the... Though things happen fast, so
wala.
that seems clear. Very clear, no touch right there.
Upon review, there is no block touch. So the challenge by VNS is unsuccessful.
The 5-man coaching staff of Coach Ralph Ocampo.
Point awarded to GN Steel
Looking good at the sideline, down by 3.
16.
Dainata, first ball, push onto the left, there's a touch. Mendoza sending it back, it's Sayan giving up a free ball. Yatko, back to Segi.
Oh, that one too strong for Segi. I knew it.
So una gusto niya pa ng check ball pero yung libero niya, sinabi wala. Oh, apparently, there's a change.
Oh, there is a check, according to our officials.
Okay, CJ Segi got it right
Well, I
after
think our second referee informed
the first referee.
yeah, first referee of the touch.
The lead is 2. Service error for Arcilio. He's had a couple of good services in the previous sets.
But yung trajectory ng serve niya as a pattern of talagang patusok pababa.
Yung aces niya may tulong ng net eh.
Benny Martinez serving.
A 3-point advantage for Benny Martinez and company. Nice receive by Segi. Back to him. It's tic-tac-toe.
It all seems very familiar, you know, the position that we are in at the moment. FE with 20, VNS with 18.
Husay naman nila. CJ Segi for 2004. He's 20 years old. And he plays with a lot of maturity. Pangulabdan, sending it in. Oh, from the middle, that's Dongala.
Set play good for Tula Tongala.
He's looking more serious now.
No time to laugh. They need to get this third set. They have all the material. I think now it's all about execution. And they need to make sure na hindi din sila mapapako no, at 21. That has been the pattern, napapako sila at the tail end of each set.
It is 21-18. Jelord Talisayan. The captain will send it through. First ball to Cruz. Medino drop. Very intelligent play by the youngster.
But a good decision. He saw everyone was in position and waiting for a strong attack. Lahat naka-atras eh. Good view, good decision on that one.
Miguel. Wow. So that's what he can do.
Luis Miguel.
Right in time, they need that point.
It was wide open for him as the middle blockers were able to draw some defenders at the net. Here's a guy who's been very effective, Dula Dongala, product of Congo, setting it in.
Not
Another
gonna work.
read. Yeah. This time they send it to Dainata, who got a touch. One more for FEU, and yes, that is off the block for Drick Saavedra.
That's a point for TN Steel FEU.
It is now 23-19 in favor of FEU.
Paulit lang to, lamang sila ng malaki. Yung receive kasi, pahalagahan nyo. Sobrang halaga ng receive para maka-side out eh. Kailangan maka-side out muna, tapos kailangan natin pumuntos ng madami. Side shuffle side. Hindi pwede isang step tas dive kasi walang walang balance yan. Tutumba kayo dyan. Sige, apat lang kaya.
Tiwala ulit!
Isang point muna kunin natin, ha?
Let's go! Bilis!
It's beautiful to hear the volleyball terms from Coach Ralph Ocampo. So we heard side shuffle, which
Yeah.
is in reference to?
I think he was referring to the blocking. You know, that was the last point scored by FEU
Serving for TN Steel.
of Dainata's block. And you know, he also did mention yung importance ng first ball and then
Yeah.
that last receive, no, medyo malayo sa setter.
It's the same attacker,
Yes,
Miguel,
and-
with another point.
For FEU, sabi nga natin, this is a much needed set. Kailangan nilang makuha to extend this match. Meanwhile, let's see if VNS can deliver better passing. Nawawala yung option nila sa gitna because of their first ball.
Oh, that was a tough first ball. With the help of the net, it is the first set win of Far Eastern University in this matchup. That would be an ace for Dula Dongala. Can FEU give us a reverse sweep? We'll find out as we return for set number 4.
This match 2 sets to 1.
Back inside the Field Sports Arena in Pasig City for our Spikers Turf Invitational Conference. VNS won the first two sets, but FEU gave us some normalization in set number 3. And what were they able to change in set 3?
You know, I think that, well, in all of the sets, FEU would start off strong. They did just the same in set number 3, but I think, you know, it was nothing fancy for FEU in set number 3. They were just highly efficient, but I think it's activating their net defense that kind of, not as flashy as the previous sets, but now we're looking at the numbers. So they've better blocking in set number 3, 4 as opposed to 2 of VNS. Attacking halos pantay lang, but they did score more by 1 point, no, 14 as opposed to 13. But I think ultimately, kung babalikan ng FE yung set number 3, makikita din nila mas konti yung giveaway points nila right here. I mean, each set gets better. It started off double digit, bumaba ng 6 in set number 2, and for FEU in set number 3, 4 na lang yun na ipamigay nila.
In terms of having 4 errors, that's better than their best average in the past couple of outings, which was 5% versus the Navigators Iloilo. So can they be consistent at it as they're still down 1-2 in this matchup? Later on, our fans inside the Field Sports Arena will be enjoying Signal HD versus Criss Cross in what is one of the better rivalries that we have already. But the thing about the Invitational Conference is the fact that we have FEU, we have LaSalle in the mix, VNS improving. Even though this is the youngest team that they ever fielded on the Spikers turf, the competition just gets better and better.
Yes, and you know, always at the top of the coverage, we talk about the format because it's very short, only 4 teams.
Oh no!
Oh! Hopefully, he is okay.
All right, he looks good.
Okay.
Ceballos though went crashing through. I'm not sure if he was aware of the bars at the side.
And look at that. Oh, he
tried to jump.
He tried
over.
to jump, yes. But we got a thumbs up. He said he's okay.
Okay, that's one thing.
Okay.
I also feel for the fans right there.
For it to happen right in front of you.
And
with the ball going there.
he almost jumped to them as well.
But, you know, these are, yung makikita mo, the effort, really, of these players to keep the ball alive. But, of course, we're glad no injuries on that incident.
And again, this is the time to shine for Venny Ceballos because Bryce de Guzman is not in the roster for this game of FEU. Oh, Pangulablan went down, but he's good to go. Miguel, nice approach.
I love how clean the shots are coming from Miguel. No? Bilis just really drops right there.
It is Luis Miguel stepping up in lieu of Nico Espartero, who started in this game. 2-1 in favor of Jeller Talisayan and company. Service out. There was a reaction from Owa Cruz. Just having a bit of fun with FEU.
Happy to take that point.
Yeah. Owa, by the way, is the veteran of VNS. He's the one at 24 years old. And there's Dongala again, responding from the middle.
Towering over the blockers of VNS.
The score is 3-2.
We're exchanging points so far in set number 4. We've had 3 games in the Invitational Conference reaching 5 sets. FEU would want to make it 4 for us, but it's a different idea for RK Medina.
All of the games, of course, very important for these teams. Pinag-uusapan nga natin, only the top 4 will make it. And VNS right now currently ranked number 7. FEU in a very good position. And so a win for VNS today would really mean a lot for their standings. Also for their confidence, as a team.
There was an error from their defense. That's why FEU got their 4th point. Rick Saavedra and company looking to stay undefeated as you just broke down the standings. Nice receive by Cruz. Moving on to that middle hit by Arcilio. By the way, Omo Cruz has such a very encouraging demeanor for VNS. And that's what you would love from a libero.
Oh, and you know, makikita mo sa kanya, palagi siya nakapwesto. So it means that as a libero, talagang, of course, he would dive, ano? But the fact that napupwestohan niya yung bola, he gets a very good read on the opposite side. Sabi nga ng mga coach, di naman kailangan lahat dinadive mo. Pag nagda-dive ka, ibig sabihin, wala ka sa posisyon. So you have to dive for it.
And now that was off position for the ball. It went long for VNS, thus a 2-point advantage for FEU. We're back with Luis Miguel. Jump serve, another error for him.
It is with a throw. He seems to have, it's quite inconsistent. In that case, medyo paharap. So he had to be conscious of not stepping into the line, but also, you know, wanting to clear the net with that jump serve.
Usually, yung mga ganyan, mga bagong adjust pa lang sa jump serve.
Well, it's a risky serve, but, you know, if you get that in, it's quite hard to receive also because of the power.
Right. But then, it's going to be a journey for Luis Miguel to master it. This is Lyric Mendoza. Service in, and it was a miscue and a misreceive for Segi. With that, Dainata will return, replacing Kimi Liray. Dainata has been a consistent attacker for Coach Ralph in this game. First technical timeout in set number 4.
Back inside the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig City, FEU versus VNS. FEU takes set number 3, but VNS looks to close this one out in set number 4. But for the Griffins, generally, they have nothing to lose. I was able to talk to assistant coach JP de Guzman. They have two major goals building this team. One is to collect potential and cultivate young talent. And two, make it to the Final Four and prove their doubters wrong. And that is what is taking to effect in this match. At evident siya, nakikita natin siya dito. And during that huddle, a lot of positive words coming from the coaching staff, especially from their team captain naman, na si Charles Segi, emphasizing the importance of energy and consistency. And just right before game time, naghanap pa siya ng candy at ng chocolate. Mukhang yun yung nagiging fuel niya at ng kanyang team, Megsanaan.
Yeah, it's part of the ritual. Yung iba nga, in between sets kumakain eh.
Need that energy, but you know, on that note, no, buti no injury. I think he kind of slipped.
There was a wet spot.
There was a wet spot right there.
Good sportsmanship by Dongala as well to help up CJ Segi.
Segi, of course, no, 20 points. They cannot afford to not have him on the floor. 20 points already in this game.
Service out.
Service error for Far Eastern University. Lyric Mendoza will sit down. It is 9-6 in set 4 in favor of the yellow shirts. Mangulabnan with the honors. Oh, misreceived by Miguel.
Services for John Mangulabnan.
And just like that, VNS is back to within 2.
The score is 7-9.
Mangulabnan back at it. A better receive by Miguel. The ball for Drix. Wow. He makes it look too easy.
Feels like it is easy for him.
Have you attacked from that position?
We use from the back, yes.
From the back.
But of course, not how I wish, diba? So nice to see how they make it look so easy.
Yeah. We take a lot of things for granted as viewers of volleyball.
But back then, yung mga um, back row attack, those are the ones that I really didn't like
Ah,
much.
talaga? What was the hardest part of it?
Scores off a touch.
Parang there, or maybe as a player, na there's so many things going on in my mind. Not to step on the attack line, has to
Ah,
clear.
tama.
Because if you're right in front of the net, it's better vantage, right? Good vantage point. If you
Oo.
jump high, ganda nung clearance mo sa net, feels easier.
Right.
But we see that a lot, of course, women's, men's.
Yeah, with the evolution of volleyball,
Yes.
defenses have become better. And so offense has had to keep up.
Yes.
This is Jello Talisayan with a serve. Playing it safely. Segi was the target. It's RK blocked, but straight outside. A point for VNS.
Off the block, Medino.
VNS is down, but they're making sure na hindi rin lalayo ng sobra itong FEU. Good first ball.
No point for Drix Saavedra. And this is Tainata off the block again. What a performance off the bench by Ken Tainata.
And you know, for all those who are watching, especially for the younger ones, coming off the bench, that's what you need to do. If you're called off the bench, you have to do your responsibility as a player and really deliver. And I guess a good example is Tainata. He called off the bench, played very well, and has earned his minutes here in this game.
A lot of people would even argue you have to be more efficient when you're coming off the bench.
Yes, because you're watching the game, you should have a good analysis of what went wrong, what you can do better, and when you get in, the expectation is that you play like you've warmed up, like the rest of the players
Yes.
who have started the match.
Now it's Medino, a starter for VNS, delivering the goods. Going cross and trimming the lead down to 1. Let's see that replay. Mangulabdan, a beautiful back set. Double sub for VNS off of that hit by RK. It's Max Martichon checking in alongside Justin Yatko. Another Mapua standout is Mr. Yatko, who sent that ball in and a missed time for Lyric Mendoza, despite his hang time and athleticism.
4 touches on TN Steel. Point for VNS. Good side at 12.
First ball also too strong right there.
The better one this time. Lyric Mendoza almost put it down. And here's the counter with Ken Dainata. Net at the net. Cruz. Back row hit. Wow, what a block by Lyric.
Block one for Lyric Mendoza.
That's one-on-one coverage for you.
And yun talaga hindi niya binitawan. He knew that he had to go for that block.
He has showed us his blocking prowess in this conference. Most especially in their first game versus Chichi. He had 5 blocks. Oh, that's way under for Martichon. But there was a touch.
A lucky one for VNS. Wala, labas na yung bola. But net violation right there.
Ayun.
There, on his way down.
And Lyric knew it. He
Sabi niya,
felt it.
sayang.
We have a deadlock, just like that. 13 all, Dainata. Taking his time. Ken sends it through. Benny. Miguel, yes.
And you know, that is the power of getting a blocker to commit. Yun yung nangyari sa kanila. Look at this. Yung tao, tumalon, leaves. Miguel with just one blocker.
Yeah.
Gets the blockers to commit, deceive them.
It's Benny Martinez. Ooh, I thought he touched the net.
He did touch the net.
Falls on TN Steel.
Na-excite siya, saya. Chance to eh. Ball was high. O, diba? Set up for him, saya.
Yeah, it is a point for VNS.
Now these errors We did mention how in the previous set, FEU managed to keep it at 4.
At the net. Segi able to send it through. And here's a chance ball for VNS. Yatko onto the middle. Another chase by Ceballos. And here's Talisayan. Blocked. Martinez back to Mendoza. Rejected at the net. Ceballos tried to send it through, but it went wide.
Gotta give credit though to Ceballos, really throwing himself out there to keep the ball alive. But in that rally, it was VNS who gets that point.
Ceballos is not scared of any A-board,
Oo.
any steel at the side, any LED screen.
Pero A-board okay, pero yung steal kanina,
Kaya
no?
nga eh.
Yung talagang tatalunan niya. But again, the effort to keep the ball alive.
That's a point for FEU as a net fault is called on VNS. Dula back in. Here's the combination play to Jelor Talisayan. And there's the touch.
This is what has been working for FEU. Dami nilang combination plays, really deceiving the blockers of VNS. So,
I'm sure you saw the reaction of Dainata. And yes, it is a point off the block. And VNS, for the first time, will lead us to a technical timeout in this matchup.
Give your 101% best every training kasi ang lalabas na lang sa game is around 80 to 90% na lang kasi maraming aspects sa game na hindi natin nakakuha sa training. Umpisa sa training talagang todo, kahit ubos pati pato, lahat talaga. Kahit mapagod na, okay lang. Basta pagdating naman ng game, kung kaano yung na-training namin, nilalabas naman namin.
What a nice, realistic perspective.
I know. So 100% is not enough.
Eh di sana binigay na lang ni Charles yung 120% niya, no? Para yung offset 100 pa rin. But again, a good, realistic perspective from CJ Segi, who hasn't disappointed us. He's the leading scorer, 20 plus points.
Yes. And again, we keep mentioning, yung dito is consistency. And he's demonstrated that in this game.
This is the tightest set so far in this match. And it's a service ace for John Mangolabnan.
And it seems like a replay of a point he scored earlier. Also scored off a service ace against Miguel.
Yeah, the misreceive.
Misreceive, yung papalabas dito. In a different form, but he seems to have a target. We're talking about Mangolabnan.
Now it's Talisayan getting the first ball. Ooh, that went over. Ceballos back to Jelord. Going cross. Cruz with a missed dig. And Oa will send it through. A chance for FEU. Martinez will choose Talisayan down the line. And that's a misread by Jan Mangolabnan. But Jan still thinks it's out.
But no challenge, I believe, no? You're saying it's in.
Sabi ni Coach Ral, pumasok.
Tinitignan pa niya. Sabi niya,
May mark ba?
lang, bakit, umusog yung line yata. Hindi siya naniniwala, tinitignan talaga niya. Baka may pawis mark.
Right. Now we have to move on. 17-16, retribution. The answer is no.
FEU has done very well with their blocking right there at the net, so it's good to see them.
That's Jelor Talisayan.
Yep, look at that block.
A virtual race to 8. Here's jersey number 17 serving with our two teams currently at 17. Mangolabnan to the middle. Oh, that goes through for Titus Villacrucis. Kahit siya nagulat.
Kahit siya nagulat kasi parang tinapik na lang. Timing was a bit off as well. But it is a point.
VNS back with the advantage. CJ Segi to serve. Saavedra. Oh, this is going to be tough.
Ooh, it's
Mamulabnan
good.
saving it. And it's Cruz giving up a free ball. Ceballos. Martinez. Saavedra again. That's in.
Great angle from Saavedra.
It was a nice moment for the bench of VNS because they gathered themselves in order to get out of the way.
At inabutan no, ni Mangulabnan. So great effort.
Great show of focus though by Saavedra to get the point. And we have a deadlock. Talisayan, service in. Mangulabnan. Oh, there you go. A nice point for RK Medino.
Medino on strike.
Medina, not so much reaction. No? Pagkapalo, parang wala lang.
Yeah, he seems to be the low-key,
Yeah.
a bit introverted kind of guy. We might be mistaken, by the way.
Maybe, but just from observing now. Parang wala lang.
And that was a statement hit from Luis Miguel.
Literal race to 25 for these teams.
And the blocker was nowhere near.
Yeah. A lot of room for Miguel.
Dongala. RK blocked. No coverage.
Sabi ng FEU blockers, very predictable. The play of VNS, no, basang-basa na nila. All high sets as well. So much time for them to position themselves.
FEU back with the advantage, 20-19. Block points 14-8 in favor of DN Steel Roofing. Another block, make it 15 for FEU. And now it's a timeout for Coach Ralph.
Ano kasi yung tweet, huwag kayo mag-A. Kung magsiseparate kayo. Silip na sa block. Ano naka-double block sa'yo, so yung discard mo, huwag may babaon. Kasi nakatakip yung block, kailangan medyo habaan mo ng onte. Pag nakita mo masasarang ka ng block, habaan mo para chumekball. Kasi nakatayong tapos binaon mo eh. Huwag mo lang, cut lang natin yung momentum. 2 points lang kasi kanina malaki lamang natin.
Of the 15 blocks of FEU, 5 have come from Dula Dongala and 3 have come from Lyric Mendoza. Was he the one who got the touch? Or was it Miguel?
I think it was Miguel who got that touch, judging from the smile on his face. But, kidding aside, on that huddle from VNS, no, pinapaalala ni Coach, yung kanilang play. And we were talking about that earlier. It's become very predictable already. Napapayungan sila ng blockers ng FEU. Now, let's see if they can change up a bit. But no matter where they go, sabi ng FEU, I got this. We got this.
What a response by Far Eastern University. And now they have built a 3-point advantage. This is a 4-0 run for them.
And gotta give credit really to their net defense. Dahil itong mga puntos na ito, walang lumulusot na bola from the place of VNS.
And that was the case as well in set 3. They had 4 blocks. Unfortunately, it's now a service error from Dongala. Back to a 2-point game. VNS with their backs against the wall. They have delivered. Coming from behind in the first 2 sets. Can they do it again? Medino. Miguel, great elevation. There's a check.
What a great performance for FEU here in set number 4.
It's another timeout for Coach Ralph off of that point for Luis Miguel.
Alamin nila kung sino sa apat na spiker natin yung mapalo. Hindi left or right. So, ang decision making dapat natin dyan, sino dun sa apat yung makaka-enter? Kasi nga, malaki yung blocker eh. Okay? So, yung play natin, kailangan dun, very critical dun decision making. Pag nabigay sa inyo, huwag nyo ida-down ball. Okay? So, lahat yan, kailangan dun makastop ng ano. Oh, 1 point muna!
Decision making for the attackers as per Coach Ralph Ocampo. It is 23-20. CJ Segi looking to deliver the goods as the captain of VNS. And there you see Ken Dainata, who's been excellent off the bench. His production, though, has been neutralized by the production of Luis Miguel, also off the bench, but for FEU in this match. Saavedra, ball straight to net. It's Dainata, tough angle. What a chase by Ceballos. And it's Mendoza who tried to score. Battle at the net. That's going to be a point for FEU.
That falls on VNS.
And we knew it, no? Yung save was went beyond the net. Oh, now this is a different VNS team that we're seeing. Kanina, if they're down, you see them really fighting and there's still confidence in their body language. But I think they do recognize that they are in a tough position here in set number 4.
There's a substitution with Christian Olaez returning to play. 4 set points for FEU. They're trying to send us to another 5-set match, and the answer is yes. This would be the 4th game to reach 5 sets in the Spikers Turf Invitational Conference. Service ace for Drix Saavedra. So we're back to square one. And we'll be back for set number 5. It is 2 sets apiece already for DN Steel Roofing FEU, and volleyball never stops. FEU just continuing with their domination. It was actually a last-minute pull away for them after it was back and forth by the near 20s.
But, you know, looking at set number 4, it was also a different FEU team. You knew that they mean business, you know? They meant business in that set. They lost the first 2, yung bawi nakita natin across the different skill departments as we look at the stats. This time around, mas lamang ang FEU with their offense. More importantly, blocking. And we kept mentioning this in set number 4, how it was a block party. Sinubukan na ng VNS lahat ng area sa net, but you know, still blocked by FEU, and I think that spelled a big difference. This, despite the fact that in that set, si FEU mas maraming giveaway points. They gave away 7 points. VNS only had 5 giveaways. But again, I think this is FEU really wanting and ensuring na in every aspect of the game that they play, mababawi nila yung unang 2 set na natalo nila sa VNS. Meanwhile, VNS, nothing to, of course, take away from them. They did give it a good fight. It's just that it was very challenging, you know, just to get the ball through with that strong blocks of FEU.
As much as we've argued that these are learning grounds for VNS, we should also remind ourselves that this is a collegiate team, FEU, in front of us.
Yes.
And this is a very important tournament for the Tamaraws because, you know, unlike teams like UST and NU who get to train abroad, you know, FEU, they stay here. LaSalle also stay here. And this would be their golden opportunity to continue improving so they could keep up with the also improving other schools like NU and UST.
Yes. And, you know, a part of that learning, itong 5th set natin, a much shorter set. So, hindi lang, so this one is also a mental game for both these teams. Sabi, yung for VNS, they almost got it. First two sets, they came from behind, won those sets. FEU, on the other hand, ito yung turnaround naman na hinahanap nila.
It's a deadlock once again, 1-1 in set number 5. Ball up by Segi, mangulabnan onto CJ, dropping it. Oh, naibalik yun ni
Oh.
Donggala.
Nag-tiptoe na lang siya.
Yes, and that's an absolute mishit by Dainata to the point that the one who dug the ball up was Coach Ed Orculio.
You know, on the side of VNS though, no, yung hinahanap ko, because in the huddle earlier, syempre it was emphasized how important the first ball is. They're getting good first balls, no? Pero yung kanilang mga sets matataas pa rin, no? Hindi nila binababa. Still waiting for the play. And there you go. Okay, yun yung hinahanap kanina ni Coach. Ang sabi niya, you cannot be that predictable. Paulain niyo yung blocker. Right on cue. Got set by Mangulagnan.
I think it's just you manifesting these beautiful things in volleyball, Anne. Another deadlock, twos across the board, and it's Miguel scoring off the block.
Off the block, Luis Miguel.
This could be a statement game, individually speaking, for Luis Miguel. What is he trying to prove to Coach Ed Orculio?
Pero sabi nga nila, all of these players, when you're put on the court, you really have to give it your best.
Oh! You know, the kick was legal, but you still have to send it through.
Kailangan ng konting cross-training nito sa football para sa kabila yung...
Although it wasn't intentionally for Medino. As now Olaes returns for Arcilio.
But yes, of course, any part of your body, it's a legal touch. Pwede kang heading.
Kaya nga eh. It's now 4-2 Donggala. Sending it through from the middle. Coverage by Cruz. And it's Dainata, tough angle. Another drop that was read well. And here's Miguel outside.
Too high for Miguel. Point for the Griffins, 3-4.
4-3. RK Medino, the second leading scorer of the VNS Griffins.
Roderick Medino.
Ball up by Jellard, a beautiful receive. No point for Lyric, and here's CJ from the back. Down it goes for Mr. Segi.
Just enough power on that attack. Parang talagang tinarget niya, no, that corner. Just enough power. Look at that. Going for that corner, no defense for FEU.
4-all. Saavedra with the hammer. Grabe. Ibang klase pumalo. Ang lakas.
Tsaka maririnig mo, when the ball gets into contact with this lakas ng sound. Lands on the floor.
Saavedra will now serve. Oh, that has always been a challenge for Drix. His serving. He's gotten better at it though. We gotta say that in the past couple of seasons.
Ken Dainata serving
Here's
for
Ken
the
Dainata.
Griffins.
8 points, 7 attacks, 1 block. Deadlock at 5. It's Derek Mendoza. Whistle blow.
Net violation.
And falls on VNS. Point for Gian Steele.
Back and forth we go.
Oh, yeah, it's like
May term dyan si Norin eh. Anchors away. So right?
tama nga
Diba?
naman.
Balik-balik lang.
Swings, other side. VNS this time around.
Ayan, tuloy lang. Swing, swing.
Pwedeng siso.
Yes. Yan, mas basic yun.
Diba? But, of course, we know that both these teams will really give their best. Dahil ito na yung huli. It's a much shorter set. Hindi pwedeng magbigay ng malaking lamang.
A misread by Dainata on that hit by Jellard Talisayan. The ball went in.
776.
Yep. absolutely in. Straight to zone 5. Here's Lyric Mendoza. Ball up by Ken. Pangulabnan to the open. CJ Segi overhit.
Check went out.
And that will break the seesaw. It is 8-6. Ah, apparently not yet. We have a challenge. Block touch for VNS.
I think it was Segi who signaled to his coaches that there was a block touch.
And there was one attack of his in the previous set that VNS was ready to let go. He wanted a challenge at may umamin.
Oo. And they did get that point.
So is he right?
Ooh.
Wala.
Wala. Oo. Dumaan in between the hands and the antenna.
Upon review, there is no block
Huh.
touch.
How about the head?
By VNS.
No, I think it's just the angle, but it didn't
Okay.
get cleared.
The Griffins have one remaining
There's Coach
challenge.
Ralph Ocampo walking to the other side.
You know, itong mga 2-point advantage na to, they've done it before. Nakahabol. Actually, even more, ano. The only thing is that race to 15 lang ito. So they
Yes.
don't have that much time.
Our two teams trade places. FEU looking to stay undefeated. VNS, on the other hand, with a record of 1-2. This is their first extended match in the Invitational Conference. This is the first 5-set match of Far Eastern University in this conference. After all, we've only had 3 before this game. I remember an opening day 5-setter, a second day 5-setter, and the third one was Savage versus Signal, right? That was the biggest win so far in terms of having a statement in the Spikers Turf Invitational Conference. Dainata puts it up from the middle. No point for Villacruzes. And here's Gelord. Blocked. Coverage by himself. Talisayan again. Ooh, he scores.
Went our way. Seemed like they wanted us to get into the action as well.
Pinabalik nila yung player days mo.
That angle.
Segi could have given it to Owa Cruz. Here's Charles with the first ball, a misreceive. And that's short for Medino. It's a 4-point advantage for FEU. And Coach Ralph has to call for time.
Timeout VNS.
Ano, wala lang magmamadali. Kasi paano kayo makaka-receive ng maganda kung nararattle kayo? 'Di ba? Kalmahan nyo lang. Hindi naman ganun kalakas yung serve eh. O, receive lang maganda, tapos ton break point ulit tayo next, magandang serve. Kailangan lang natin umikot. Ikot lang, ha?
Bawal magmadali for these youngsters of Coach Ralph Ocampo. It's one of the biggest lessons that you'd learn at the highest level of volleyball, at least outside of our usual collegiate leagues. Here come the FEU Tamaraws with Lyric Mendoza serving. Segi blocked. Wow, and it's Dongala with another statement rejection.
His blocking has been instrumental for their net defense. Talking about FEU. Bumalik yung kanyang
Celebration.
Oo, nawala yan for a while.
Let's just call it the roofing celebration for Dongala.
He was called out by our first referee. He said, okay, sorry po.
Yeah, you gotta check it. You
Yeah.
gotta check it. We have Lyric Mendoza back to serving. Ooh, that's an error.
Service out.
7-11.
7, serving 11.
After this, we have Chris Cross versus Signal HD.
Number 7, Justin Yako, serving.
Here's Justin Yatko, the 17-year-old sending it through. Martinez to the open. Gelord met at the net. Owa to the other side. CJ Ooh, and a touch. That's going to be on Dongala.
He admits to that touch. I think that's the risk. We've seen a lot of his blocks are successful. But this happens.
This was his right leg that touched the net. Retribution though for Dula Dongala. Oh, it's nice to see that. A fan for the FPU Tamaraos with a certain banner. 12-8 now. FEU 3 points away from a reverse sweep. Benny Martinez. Ball up by Oa. FEU keeping it alive. Oh, a missed set. Talisayan getting it back. Martinez now to the middle. Talisayan faking the attack. And that's another point for Dongala. Dongala just coming alive when it matters the most.
Yung tinractice natin, huwag kayo kumuha ng block na ginaganon-ganon nyo kasi tatalsik talaga sa kamay niya, tapos walang direksyon. Kailangan matapatan nyo ng mais. Ngayon, ito na yung last na timeout namin, ito na yung last chance natin na makaikot, tapos makaraming break point, ha? Go lang, ikot lang isa. Go tayo, tara. Go tayo! Go tayo, go.
Let's see that previous sequence. Dula Dongala now with his 17th point off of that hit. 6 of his points have come from blocks, by the way.
You gotta appreciate also na binigay sa kanya yung set, allowing him to make up for the earlier violation. So yun yung magandang confidence build. It's a good call by their setter.
And this is the man that you're talking about, Benny Martinez. What a serve. Oh, that doesn't go through for CJ Segi, and it's 6 match points for Far Eastern University. It has to be a miracle now for VNS. The ultimate comeback for DN Steel Roofing. Martinez serving for the match. Benny with another strong serve. It's Medino. Down the line, Benny through, but out.
Hanging on. We see VNS, but they need to play flawless volleyball because FEU just needs a point to close out this match.
They'll have to do it with Segi at the back row.
Good first ball.
Dongala blocked. Oh, a miscue.
Sabi ni Dula, kanino ba yan?
And it all happens so fast. No more recovery. VNS still down by 4. CJ Segi. Benny. Jelord blocked. Coverage present. Jelord this time will finish it off. And off the block point for the captain of Far Eastern University, and the reverse sweep is complete.
You know, they say what matters is how you finish the game. They didn't get the first 2 sets, but they retained their composure, eventually getting this win. And also good performance that we've seen from VNS. Again, young players right here getting a lot of exposure, gaining experience.
This proves a lot already for them. And let's hope that the confidence would translate onto their next games and that they would also be complete. It is 3-2 in terms of sets in this matchup. FEU winning the 5th set 15-10.
Here in the Spiker Surf Invitational Conference is a battle between the Crisscross King Cruncher
Huwag ko na banggitin. Ano lang, quiz. Maganda yung laban, tingin. Para sa tingin mo, bakit kayo nagalo? Bakit kayo? Tapos pangalawa, saan kayo nag-struggle yung first two sets?
Check.
Back inside the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig City, FEU winning over VNS 5 sets in the reverse sweep. And with me, the player of the game, Drix Saavedra. Drix, first off, congratulations on the win.
Thank you po. Thank you.
Grabe yung laban nyo. Walang may gusto magpatalo pero may kailangan manalo. Sa match na to, kayo yun. Ano yung sa tingin nyo rason ba't kayo nagwagi?
Siguro yung nag-compose lang kami kasi first set, second set, di talaga kami nagkakaintindihan eh. May rattle, may iba, nag-relax siguro. Talagang hindi kami nag-connect ng first set, second set.
Na-mention mo na nag-struggle kayo during the first two sets. Ano yung naging adjustments nyo moving forward?
Yun nga, syempre, mina-mindset kasi talaga namin na dapat di namin kaya-kayanin lang yung VNS kasi talagang may program din talaga sila sa Insider. So, yun nga, napag-usapan namin ng coaches na sana wag namin sabayan yung kung ano yung way ng paglalaro nila. Siyempre, dapat pakita namin kung anong meron kami.
Ngayon, moving forward in our next matches, gusto lang namin malaman, happy ba kayo sa resulta ng laban na to?
Siguro sa akin personally kasi hindi siya siguro hindi namin nakuha yung expectation namin na kaya sana namin ni third set, straight set, pero yun nga, hindi din naman talaga may iwasan lumalaban yung yung kabilang team. So yun, dapat siguro mas eagerness pa namin na wag namin basta-bastahin talaga yung kalaban.
Nonetheless, a win is a win. Again, congratulations to Drix. Baka may mga gusto ka batiin.
Binabati ko yung family ko sa Iloilo, yung girlfriend ko, tapos yung mama ko sa Makati, yung papa ko sa Bacolod nagtatrabaho, yung mga kapatid ko, yung mga kaibigan ko doon sa amin, sa barangay namin, and also sa sponsor namin, DN Steel and Ultra Isolated, and also Miss Donna and Sir Johnny, and yun, sa buong FEU community. Thank you po.
Maraming salamat, Drix Saavedra, our player of the game. Back to you, Migs and Ann.
Congratulations to Drix Saavedra, our best player of the game. But we want to give a shout out as well to Dula Dongada.
Yes, we did mention how he's been instrumental in that in this game rather, with his blocks. And right now we're looking at the highlights of set number 5. Much shorter set, pero ito nga yung pinag-uusapan na talagang nakauna tong FU, nakabawi sila. And looking at this set, clearly, in terms of offense, sila yung nag-dictate the pace of this game. 8 as opposed to only 4 of produced by VNS. Blocking was quite even for both these teams. But for VNS, sayang din because they did give away more points. 6 errors in that very short set. Meron din naman yung FEU, but overall, I think ito yung Opensa. Yung Opensa really spelled the difference here for set number 5.
So there you have it, our 4th game to reach 5 sets in the Spikers Turf Invitational Conference. What's your fearless forecast for Signal versus Chris Cross? Ilang sets yan?
Hirap magsabi ng ano, Mix. I think hirap magsabi ng ano dito ng mag-predict ng set because it can go either way. I mean, looking at the game that we just covered right now, diba? 5 sets, anything can happen.
And so, if you're watching, better be ready for another thriller. It is Signal versus Chris Cross coming right up. For Bailey Sakot and my partner, Andre Mulyakanda, my name is Mix Gomez, and thank you for joining us for VNS versus FEU.